Hello, so in this video I will be teaching you on how to make your very own Loomigurumi Jellycat. You will be needing these bands, 110 of your cake color. For the regular or traditional Jellycat like this one, I use the tan bands from LoomingLegends. All these bands are from LoomingLegends. If you are doing the carrot cake like I do in this video, I would use the caramel bands. 90 of the icing color. You can 100% just do like plain white, but what I did is I used Rainbow Loom's pastel yellow from one of their pastel boxes, but I recommend using cocoa, and you will need 15. So for candle A, your candle A color is essentially the red. This white part of the candle you need 4 of, and that is candle B. The flame at the very top, 4 of your white or yellow color. While in this video I will be making the carrot cake, I'll also show you how to make these little strawberries up top. I used the fuchsia bands, and you will need 25 the carrot cake, 20 of your carrot color. I use orange. And then you need 10 of your stem color. I'm pretty sure this is just like lime green. Some additional supplies: 1 black band, beads, floss. If you don't have beads, then what you can do, take a band, wrap it around once. So you have 2 loops. Take that entire band, wrap it around 4 times. So now you have 4. Take a band and pull through all of them. And that essentially would be your eye. A hot glue gun, a stitch marker, stuffing of some kind. If you don't have stuffing, you can use bands, shirts, old creations, whatever. So to start off, we are just going to make the eyes. So all you need is a piece of floss, and you are going to take your cake colored band and just put it on the end of the floss. You can also use string if you need, just any thread. And then you are going to just thread the 2 pieces of string through the bead and just pull. And just like that, you have your eye, and you want to pause the video and make another one. Now that we have that, we can actually start with making the cake. And we are going to start with our cake colored band. And we are going to make a magic ring of 8. So in order to make a magic ring, what you want to do is put the band onto your hook, then wrap it around once, so that way you have 2 loops, then wrap it around 1 more time, so that way you have 3 loops on your hook. After this, you want to take another band, and you want to pull through just these 3 loops, just like that. Then reclaim this loop back onto your hook. Now you have your 3 loops as your cap bands, and then 2 bands on your hook, and you want to pull the bottom loop over the top loop, so just push it over. Now you want to go back into the same cap band that you were just in, so that way you have 3 loops onto your hook again. You want to take another band, and you want to pull through just these 3 loops. You don't want to pull through this, just these 3 loops. And reclaim. Now you want to pull these bottom 2 loops over the top loop. So you can just push them over and pull the bottom 2 loops over the top loop. Now you have 2 stitches in your cap band, and you want 8. So we're going to do this again and go back into our cap band, take another cake colored band, and remember, pull through the cap band only, reclaim, then pull the bottom 2 loops over the top. You want to repeat this until you have 8 of these loops. So that was 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. And this is 8. Now to count, we count the V's. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be on your hook. You can use a C-clip at this point, or even like a bobby pin, but I will be using a stitch marker, and I will just be marking my stitch. Now for round 2, we are going to increase all the way around. And what an increase is when you go into this V-shaped stitch, just like this. You're going to take a band, and just like the cap band, we are going to just pull through this stitch. So these 2 bands. Reclaim. Now pull the bottom 2 loops over the top loop. And you want to now, because it's an increase, go back into the same exact stitch that we were just in. So we just went into this stitch and we're going to go back into it. Take another band, pull through just these 2 stitches only, reclaim, and pull the bottom 2 loops over the top. And that is an increase. So now we want to go into the next stitch over. So not the one that we just went into, but the next one over. And we want to do the same thing again. So take a band, pull through these 2, this loop only, so these 2 loops, the V, pull through, reclaim, and bottom 2 loops over the top. Remember, because it's an increase, you're going to go back into that same stitch, pull through the V only, reclaim, bottom 2 loops over the top. And now you just want to repeat this all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. So now that we are near our stitch marker, what I like to do is I like to take out my stitch marker, and then we are going to go into the stitch with the stitch marker and just increase like normal. Now put your stitch marker back onto your stitch. And now we should have 16 loops on our hook. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is on your hook. So for round 3, we are going to be single crocheting, but only in the back loops. So what that means is, as you can see, this is a V shape right here. And you want to go into the back of this V shape. So not the one near you, you want to go to the one back behind it. So this is the one that's like facing outwards. You want to take a band and you want to go through just this one loop. It should only be one, reclaim, and bring the bottom 2 loops over the top. And that is a single crochet when you only go into a stitch once. We did it in the back loop. So once again, for next stitch, we are going to do the same exact thing. So not this loop, not both of them, but this back loop right there. We're going to go into it, take a band, pull through this loop only, reclaim, bottom 2 loops over the top. And you want to continue to do this all the way around, and you should continue to have 16 stitches for actually quite some time. Don't do that. Remember, it should just be one loop. So why you don't stitch with the stitch marker on. And just like that, we have finished our row, and we should have 16 stitches in our round. So we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is on your hook. For our next round, we are just going to single crochet all the way around. And we're actually going to do this for 2 rounds. I'm going to do one with you, and then you're going to pause the video and do it by yourself. We are going to go into both loops. So it's just a normal single crochet. So just stick your hook in. Make sure you get the entire V. Remember, a single crochet is when you take a band, you pull through the V only, reclaim, and then just pull the bottom 2 loops over the top. And that's all it is. And you are going to do this all the way around. And another important thing to note at this stage is if you do crochet, then you are probably thinking that these V's should be on the outside, but you don't want that. You want the T's to be on the outside. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. I'm sure you're doing great. Now you want to do that same exact thing again. For round 6, we are going to single crochet all the way around, only now we are going to be doing it in our frosting color. I should not have moved that. In order to change colors, we are going to go into our next stitch like normal. Instead of just pulling through this V, we are going to pull through everything, just like that. Then reclaim and just bring the bottom loop over the front loop. And now we'll single crochet like normal. So go into the next stitch, pull through just the V, reclaim, bottom 2 loop over the top. And you're just going to continue as normal. So now when you are counting your rounds, there is this tiny V right here, and that is essentially what we call a slip stitch. It is not a real stitch. Do not go into it or you will be off. So skip that stitch when counting, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 will be on your hook. So now we are going to single crochet all the way around for 2 rounds, only now we are going to go back to our cake color. And like I was saying just before, this V, do not count it. It is a slip stitch. You can kind of see it's like kind of weird. It doesn't really attach to a stitch. So you're going to skip this V and just go into the next one. We are going to do another slip stitch. So take your cake colored band, pull through all 3 of your loops of your icing color, reclaim, bottom loop over the top, and then go into your next stitch, pull through these 2 loops, reclaim, bottom 2 over the top. And we are going to continue to single crochet all the way around. So now that we finished our first round, we are going to do another round of single crochet. Just remember, this first V that is created because of the slip stitch, do not count it. What we are actually going to do is go into the next stitch, take a band, pull through all 3 loops, reclaim, bottom loop through the top, and you're just going to do this temporarily. Now we are going to work on the facial features and also add the legs. So you want to get back the eyes that we made earlier. What I like to do is have the stitch marker, your tie-off band, in the back. So this will be your front. I am going to go into this stitch right here. It should be right below your frosting level. And you're just going to take a band, pull through the stitch. So go into the stitch, pull through the stitch, reclaim, and bring the bottom loop over the top. And when you tug, just kind of hold on to the stitch so that way you don't tug onto the stitch, if that makes sense. And now you want to go into your creation like that until you kind of find the stitch right next to it. Take your hook and pull that band through. For your other eye, you put your eye in this stitch. You want 1 stitch in between, and then you're going to go into your next stitch. Just like that. Take your band, pull it through that stitch, then reclaim, and bring your bottom loop over your top loop, pull, but hold on to this knot right there so you don't stretch out the band. Then go into your creation this way. It's not sticking out like that. We will do the mouth after. So now we're going to set this aside and we are going to make the little feet. And you need to make 2 of these. So you want to start by getting 3 bands. So 1, 2, 3. And this should be of like your foot, leg color. You want to take them and you want to wrap all of them around once. So you have 6 loops and 1 more time. So it's basically like a cap band. You want to take 2 bands and you want to put all of these loops onto those 2 bands. Might be a little hard, but you got this. Now you want to reclaim and you want to take another 2 bands, put on your hook, and pull through all 4 loops. So you're essentially just chaining, just like that. Now you want to take your cake colored band and pull through all 4 loops, reclaim, and then what I like to do with this is put it on a pencil for holding. So I actually attached the legs wrong before, so I am making another cake. This is a funfetti one. But what you want to do is you want to take your leg and you want to start from the eye and then just go downwards. And considering this is the magic ring and this is a row of increases, you want to go into the next row. So the row where we did our back loop only stitch. And you are just going to go in. I know I have like weird colors, but ignore it. Just go in here, take a band, pull through, reclaim, and then bring your bottom loop over the top loop and pull tight. And then just make sure you like the placement of it. And for your second leg, if this is the stitch you just went into, you want to go 1 over, so skip this stitch and go into this next stitch. And you want to pull through the stitch only, reclaim, bottom loop over the top. And just like that. Actually, I'm going to tuck it on this side. And you should have your legs. What we want to do is we want to make like this ring of frosting. So in order to do that, you want to take 2 bands, put it on your hook, and you want to wrap it around 2 times so that way you have 6 loops. So you're going to make a cap band. And then you're going to take 1 band and pull this entire thing onto the band. So it's kind of like you are making the feet from earlier. And then just take it off. And you need 16 of these because you have 16 stitches. And now I am going to go back my stitch, and I am going to once again go in the back loop only. So this is the V. I'm gonna go into here. I'm gonna take my band, and because we are changing colors, we're going to pull through these 2 loops, reclaim, bottom loop over the top. Go into your next stitch, and remember, just the V, and then pull through the V, reclaim. It's a little hard with the cap in, but you got this, and bottom 2 loops over the top. And you want to continue to do this for the rest of this round. It will be a little tricky because of the cap ins, like I said, but it is not horrible. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, to kind of push the frosting out and make sure that it is not inward, like inside the creation, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, once again, don't worry about it. See, like here, it's going inward, so I'm just going to push it. Going to redo this one. And just like that, we have our frosting now. So for our next round, we are going to do a decrease followed by a single crochet, and I believe at the end of this, we should have like 1 leftover decrease. Okay, so remember, we are going to skip this V because it is not a real stitch, because it's from our slip stitch. We're going to go into this V right here. But instead of going through both of them, we are only going to go through the front loop. So rather than the back loop, the front loop this time, so the one that is closest to you. Now, in the next stitch, you are going to go through the back loop, so the loop that is furthest from you. And I know it's hard because we also have the icing, but you can try as many times as you need. Now take your band and pull through these 2 loops, reclaim, and then bottom 2 loops over the top loop. And that is an invisible decrease, but I just like to call them decreases. So now you want to go into your next stitch, and your next stitch is not this stitch, it is this stitch right here. And here we are just going to do a single crochet. And now we are going to do another decrease. So remember, front loop, or the loop that is closest to you, and then the back loop in the next stitch. And pull through these 2 loops, reclaim bottom 2 loops over the top. And honestly, if you can't do that, you really can. You can just go through both loops like that. But it makes for a cleaner finish if you just go through the front and then the back. Okay, so after I do this decrease, you will notice that there are, oh wait, actually, this one matched up. For my other one, here I had 2 stitches left, so I had to do another decrease, but I guess I must have missed a decrease somewhere. So really it's just decrease followed by single crochet all the way around. And now we get this stuff. So just take your stuffing. You can, like I said, you can really use anything to stuff it. I just think that stuffing is the best. And make sure to put your stitch marker on. And we are just going to put our stuffing in here. You don't need that much, but just make sure not to understuff or overstuff. But I think understuffing's worse. Just gonna do a little bit more. We can always add more if we need. I think that is pretty good. So now what we are going to do is we are going to decrease until we only have, I would say, like 5 or 6 stitches left. So we are going to start with a decrease. So remember, front loop, back loop, and pull through these 2 stitches, reclaim, bottom loop over the top. And we are going to decrease this until closed. So front loop, back loop, bottom loop over the top. So we're doing like as many decreases in a row as we can. Once again, front loop, back loop, and then decrease. We're going to do that one more time. So front loop and the back loop. We're going to decrease. You can decrease one more time here if you wish, but personally, I think it's easier to just go into the next stitch, take a band, pull through all 3 stitches, reclaim, bottom over the top, and tie this as tight as you can. So now you will notice we do have an open end, and we're just going to sew that close. So basically, the stitch with your tied end in, you want to just pull the tied end through that stitch. And you want to do this all the way around. So go into the next stitch and just pull through the stitch, pull tight, take it off. Go into the next stitch, pull through, pull tight, take it off. You want to keep going all the way around the cake until eventually you will get back to the stitch that you originally started at. And at that point, you can just pull, and just like that, it is closed. So now you just want to stick your hook in some random part of the cake, go through to the top, take this band and just tuck it under like that. And now our cake is almost done. It's so cute. At this point, we only have to make the strawberries and the candle. For this one, I am going to have a little carrot on the top. If you don't like the carrot, then I will also teach you how to make a strawberry. All you need for this is your strawberry colored band. Take 3 bands, put it on your hook, and you're gonna make a cap band. So what does that mean? Wrap it around once, wrap it around twice. So now you have 9 loops on your hook. You're going to take 2 bands and you are going to stretch them out, make an X, and take this side and pull it over to this side. So now you have what we call a double looped band. You're going to put that on your hook and you're going to bring all of these over onto that double looped band. Just like that, and reclaim. Now you're going to take your frosting color, pull through, reclaim, and you can put it on your pencil like that. You're going to take a band, wrap it around once, so you have 2 loops, wrap it around one more time, so you have 3, and then one more time. So now you have 4 loops. You are going to take one band, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the strawberry. So make an X, bring this side over to this side, and then put it onto your hook, pull these 4 bands through, and then reclaim. Now you're going to take 2 bands, stretch it out, make it an X, bring this side over to this side. This is called double loop band, by the way. And you are going to pull through, just like that. To take your green, and we are going to do the same thing. So pull, X, double loop. You're going to pull all these bands through, reclaim. And now what you want to do is you want to pull these bottom 4 over the top, and then pull as tight as you can without snapping the band. Just like that. And now what I like to do is I like to take my scissors and just snip off the ends, because I think it's a lot cuter, and you can trim these if you want so that they are uniform. So now that we have our 5 carrots or strawberries, you want to heat up your hot glue gun. Just place that aside, and we are going to cut a mouth. So just start by cutting the band in half, and then you can kind of just like guess where to cut it and see if you like it. Like, I personally really like that, so I'm going to keep it like that. So now we are going to attach. For the strawberries, I'll show you, I tied them in, but if that's really hard for you, you can just glue them on like the carrots. So in order to do the strawberries, what I did for spacing is I found, this is like my center, right? I went to the back, so in this stitch right here, and then I took my strawberry and I pulled through this stitch only, reclaim, bottom loop over the top, I pulled it tight, and then I tucked it in. But because I am doing the carrots, I can't do that. So what you want to do is you kind of just want to put a little glob of glue right there, and then just literally just glue the carrot on, just like that. Put your next one like right there. Remember, you do need space for the candle. If you are adding one, you don't need to. I might actually trim the greens of this, just because I think it's a little too long because it's at the front. Just like that. Okay, and for our smile, just put a little glob of glue right there in the middle, and then take your smile and move it.
Hi, complete person changed, and I actually forgot to make the candle and film it, so I'm just gonna film it for you guys. So if you look at the cake, you want to go somewhere in this first round, pretty much any stitch, preferably one more in that first one toward the middle. So I'm gonna go here. So what you want to do is you want to grab your white, double loop it, which I'm sure she showed you how to do. So double loop like that, then slide through that stitch, reclaim, and then switch colors. So switch to the red or your other candle color, double loop it, pull through those 4 bands, reclaim, grab your white again, double loop, pull through the red, then grab your red, double loop, and pull through. Now for the flame, you want to grab 3 bands, double loop it, pull through all of the bands in your hook, reclaim. Then you want to grab 1 yellow band and pull it through all of the loops. Then you want to reclaim and then tie off. And then what you can do after is, this band is a bit stretched out because this is the second time we put the candle in this one. But you can grab this, basically just wrap it around the candle like a cat band. So then it kind of, this is really hard to tuck in. You can't really tuck it in. If you want to, you can try. But by wrapping it around, it just gives it like a different shape. And it looks fine. Like, there you go. Also, you can stretch this out to straighten it a bit more if you would like. But that is basically what your cake should look like. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I also forgot to film like an outro. And also, I don't have the other cakes with me. But definitely make up your own flavors. There are so many options. I'll put a picture of all of the different cakes on the screen just so you can get inspiration. The heart and the dollop we kind of just made up, so there's no real pattern for it. The dollop was just a single chain, we kind of just made ties. And the heart, I have no idea what Anna did for that one. So yeah, if you do make one, please tag us on Instagram at Looming_Legends. We will definitely repost your work, interact with it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
What you tryna get at?